Not that my health matters any more or less than the health of a soldier fighting for the life of the women and children in a town matters. It matters as a tool. If you don't understand that, we're dead, because you don't understand what we're facing. You don't understand what the next 200 billion children are facing. You don't understand that we're right on the edge of the cliff, if we haven't gone over already. 2012. This is not the time for normalcy. It hasn't been for a long time. If you don't understand that my health matters only as the health of a soldier in a life and death fight matters, then we're dead, and you're part of the problem. Right now, love is tough, or it's not love. By going back through the archives of Start Loving blog, one could, including I, could check the history of my symptoms. I don't have the time. My earliest recollection of starting to feel like my body was, something was very wrong, was the end of 2011, after the second of the 50-day hunger strikes. Bear in mind, I've done probably 8 to 10 major hunger strikes over the last decade with this now 60-year-old body. And I don't know that my symptoms are related to the hunger strikes, but I suspect they are. Late last year, 2011, early 2012, a collection of symptoms started to wear on me quite significantly. Frequent stomach aches, like I'd been punched, or I now realized like there was an open wound. Just an ache, not queasiness. I don't recall nausea. It would hurt day after day. Not throughout the day, but day after day. Seemed to be associated with eating, but not any particular type of food. Not really even any particular quantity. My stool was rarely solid. I'd be kept awake for half an hour and as long as 2, 3, 4 hours by what's called restless leg syndrome. There were unexplained periods lasting hours where I didn't have the strength of a rag doll. And finally, by April, this was weighing on my ability to contribute enough that I went to the medical truck for we homeless, to my dear Dr. Cardile. She'd been asking me to get blood tests for a long time. I associated with that with expensive medical procedures, and I told her such, and that I'm unwilling to have significant money spent on my person. She understands that. But I was finally so debilitated for so long that I said, okay, I'm up for some blood tests. Well, the results were to be back a week later, and totally unforeseen by me, the first death fast began. The weapons test, as it turns out. And I thought, hey, I'm not going to be here 2 months from now, so why go bother Dr. Cardile? A week ago, not seeing this current death fast coming. My teeth are beginning to shatter from lifelong nocturnal grinding. So I saw the medical truck at my new location, and Nurse Penny, who had drawn my blood for Dr. Cardile, said, no, you're not going to this truck. Dr. Cardile wants to see you. I said, okay, and by several days ago saw Dr. Cardile, who said, you're anemic, and usually that's associated with internal bleeding. We reviewed my symptoms, which by 2 weeks ago had all recurred, the symptoms I recounted at the beginning of this video log. She said, yep, those and the other that you mentioned, some of too gross for this video. Those fit. Anemia, low iron can be associated with the restless leg, which within the last 2 weeks now, on 2 different nights, has kept me awake for a good 4 to 6 hours. It's quite agonizing. It's the kind of stuff they do when they black sight you. It's quite horrible and quite distracting from my work, my ability to work. But there are tests that they do. Having read up on it a little bit, she's trying to figure out whether it's internal bleeding, could be cancer, could be diet, could be kidney. And Wednesday morning I have an appointment to go back and see her. She'll have the results by then, and there'll be more to report. So I went in for a dental referral, and by the time I was done this week, they had taken more blood, sticking me about 8 times to find a vein that would work. I sure don't have the body I used to. They took my vitals, including weight, and I miscalculated. I'm only 9 pounds overweight. Weighing in at 164 with my clothes off, and 155 is my zero body fat weight, which means I've only got about 18 days from day 1. On day 18, I expect to be starting to bite into muscle and start biting into muscle and brain. Most or all of the fat should be gone by then. I calculated that I had twice that excess body fat, but I don't. So with the heat, with the anemia, with the lower body fat, this one is likely to, I'm likely to last or be fading much sooner than I have before.